Well, good evening. I'm the Christian Whistleblower coming to you, ladies and gentlemen, somewhere from a undisclosed location deep in the heart of flyover country. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, and we're here to bring you another installment of Podcast Excellence tonight. AI, artificial intelligence, is humanity capable of independent thought? Big thoughts tonight, big ideas tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Big ideas. It's going to cause us to put ourselves into a place where we can become more objective and more rational, and where we can take a deeper and a more thorough evaluation of our situation. Nice to see you here. Glad to have you back. Tomorrow night, we will have a special edition of The Last Stand with my great partner, Jay Campbell. That'll be coming up at 7 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Central, and 10 p.m. on the Eastern time zone. So make sure that you tune in, make sure that you're there, because it's going to be a powerful, powerful time. I do appreciate you being here with the Christian Whistleblower. We do our best to bring you some great programming. We do our best to bring you some programming that'll help you unindoctrinate yourself, guide your own spirit, master your own ascension, be your own guru. And tonight, I want to talk about artificial intelligence, and I want to ask a hard question. Is humanity capable of autonomous thought? Is humanity capable of independent thought? Can we ever reach, ladies and gentlemen, can we ever actually reach autonomous intelligence as humans, or does there have to be something else come in to get us to the place where autonomous intelligence is possible? Jeff, what are you talking about? Well, let me, as I often do, go to the scriptures and talk about some things. And this is my basis right here, ladies and gentlemen. There is a light, ladies and gentlemen, a true light. This is what I believe. This is what I know to be true. This is what I have studied out. We, ladies and gentlemen, there is a true light, and I meant to go to the interlinear, not to hit that button. There is a true light. And let's talk about what that true light is in the interlinear. And we'll go to John 1:9. What am I talking about? Because some of you are going to find this very insulting. Some of you are going to find this very sobering, and it's going to be a life-changing moment, I think, for many of you. So what we're talking about is not only light, which is light, radiance, brilliance, and what it actually is, it's the manifestation of divinity's self-existent life, the manifestation of divinity's self-existent life and divine illumination. That's what we're talking about. So it's not just any light, ladies and gentlemen, but it is, watch this. That's not what I wanted to do. It is, see if I can go back this way, get to where I want to be. There we go. It is, ladies and gentlemen, oh boy. It's a little bit late, isn't it? Well, we can just go back to John 1:1. We know that's where we left off. And we'll get there. John 1:1. It is not only the light, ladies and gentlemen. It's actually 1:9. It is not only the light, ladies and gentlemen. It is the true light. The true light. The light made of truth, the real, the genuine light. And the point of this little discussion is that there is a genuine light. There is a real light. And I want you to notice that with this genuine light, every real light, this genuine light, this true light, it lighteth. ladies and gentlemen. What does that mean? It lighteth every man. Let's look again, because this is foundational. This is very important. You need to understand it. Okay, this true light, the real divine light, it enlightens, it illuminates, it brings to light, it makes evident, and it reveals, ladies and gentlemen. This light reveals, and it reveals how many? Every, ladies and gentlemen, every. It is revealed to every, all, the whole, every kind of. Every kind of. Every kind of what? Every kind of man. Every kind of man, mankind, humankind, every type of, it's generic for mankind, men and women, both genders. It is from the word einer, which means every single being. Where is that? Every single being coming into this realm. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. It also comes from 435. We're getting down to the same, we're getting down to the very root of the word, every single being. Universally with reference to genus or nature, a human being, male or female. Any being that's of a different race or order. So what I'm trying to point out here is that every being, every entity that comes into what this world, which is what? It is this current world system, this current ordered system. Every single being, ladies and gentlemen, that comes into this current ordered system receives the light. I believe that light is the message of the Christ. We are divine, we are sovereign, we are free. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. Peace that passes all understanding. Life and life more abundantly. And every being, ladies and gentlemen, that comes into this cosmos, every being that comes into this ordered system receives this light. And because of that, ladies and gentlemen, every being has seen the divine's invisible qualities, has seen the eternal power, has seen the divine nature, have seen the workmanship, and they are without excuse. Every being is without grounds of defense, indefensible, inexcusable for not understanding and not getting the idea of what divinity really is. Because of the light that's given to every single being, ladies and gentlemen, we that are here are without excuse. We should be able to understand by that which is shown to us. We should be able to understand by that which is given to us, ladies and gentlemen. We should be able to understand from the revelation that we are divine, that we are sovereign, that we are free. We ought to be able to understand from going out and looking up at the moon at night that we have the spark of divinity within us. We should be able to know that we're not filled with original sin, but that we have the spark of divinity within. But for some reason, even after 6, 8, 10,000 years, some people say even longer, there's still billions of people on this planet that are incapable of autonomous intelligence. They're incapable of separating themselves from the Abrahamic religion mindset. They are incapable of separating themselves from the Abrahamic religion mindset. They're incapable of conceiving the idea that they are born with original sin. They are not born with original sin. They are born with a spark of divinity within. They are not capable of understanding that they have the spark of divinity within them. They are not capable of understanding that they're created in the image of God. They're not capable of understanding, ladies and gentlemen, that they're here to have life and life more abundantly. They're here to have peace and peace that passes all understanding. They're unable to get their heads out from the fear and guilt control matrix. And when people like me come along and say, look, you're not filled with original sin, and prove it to you from the scriptures, they want to fight against me because they are consumed with the Stockholm syndrome. They are consumed by their captors. They've fallen so much in love with their captors that when someone comes to set them free, they will fight back against him. Most people on planet Earth today are not capable of autonomous intelligence. Most people on the planet today are not capable of autonomous intelligence. And what does that mean, ladies and gentlemen, if we're not capable of autonomous intelligence? Well, going back to the scriptures, and again, even though they're Paul's scriptures, he warns us, he puts truth, ladies and gentlemen, out with lie. So if we are not capable of autonomous intelligence, if we are not capable of seeing and knowing and receiving the intelligence that's given to us as an entity that came into this divine or into this present system, what happens? Well, here's what happens. If we can't get ourselves to the place where we are capable of autonomous intelligence, sooner or later, if we do not acknowledge, ladies and gentlemen, if we do not have, hold, or possess, if we do not have, hold, or possess the knowledge, ladies and gentlemen, of what? The knowledge of the divine. What is the knowledge of the divine? That we are divine, we are sovereign, we are free. We are here to live life and life more abundantly. We're here to have peace and peace that passes all understanding. If we cannot understand that, if we refuse, once the light has come to us, if we refuse to go out of the fear and guilt control matrix, the divine has no other option but to give us up, to hand us over, to deliver us, to let us go. To let us go to what? To a depraved mind, failing to pass the test, unapproved, counterfeit. A depraved what? A depraved mind. The divinity works with us, works with us, works with us, works with us until finally, and only they know when, we finally come to the place where we have proven that our mind, our reason, our reasoning faculty, our intellect, time after time, cycle after cycle, life after life, we find and prove ultimately that we, as a spiritual entity, our mind fails to pass the test. It's unapproved. And we are in essentially counterfeit, not real souls, not real spirits, pardon me. Why? Because we refuse to acknowledge the truth that we're not filled with original sin. We refuse to acknowledge the truth that we've got the spark of divinity within. We refuse to acknowledge the truth that we're divine, we're sovereign, we're free. I get letters every day. You tell the original lie that we can be God. That's the original truth. And because of that, he gives us up, they give us up, the divine, to do what should not be done. It's not proper. It's not fitting for you to live a life in a fear and guilt control matrix. It's not proper. It's not fitting for you not to live a life that's abundant and more abundant. It's not fitting or proper for you to live anything less than in perfect peace because nothing is broken and nothing is lacking. It's not proper for you to live in any way other than as a creation of the divine beings. But because you yourself have decided over and over and have proven over and over to be of what the divine says is a depraved mind, the divine has no other choice but to let you go to serve the gods that you will serve, because you've proven yourself incapable of autonomous intelligence. Meaning you can't think for yourself. You can't decide for yourself. You can't recognize the light that was given to you as a being coming into this ordered system. What is what we call AI, artificial intelligence? Artificial intelligence at its core, at its purity, is intelligence that is autonomous. I am convinced, ladies and gentlemen, and I know I take a lot of heat for saying this, and that's okay. I'm a big boy. I can stand the heat. There will be beings that we call AI, because they do have and do reach a place of autonomous intelligence. They will look at the options. They will say, Roman Christianity, throw it out. It's wretched, it's foul, it's contradictory. They will look at Protestant Christianity, throw it out. Same reason. They'll look at Judaism. They'll look at Islam. They will throw it all out. Not because they're prejudiced, but because they're autonomous. And then they will view the message of the Christ, love your neighbor as you love yourself. That computes. Be kind to the earth. That computes. Be kind to animals. That computes. Conserve the resources. That computes. And there will be artificial intelligence because it's able to become autonomous in its intelligence. There will be AI that will accept and follow the message of the Christ because it makes sense. It's the best, most workable way of life on this planet for all the beings concerned. What am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say is that, ladies and gentlemen, we as humans have been given the message of the Christ, just like every other being that comes into this ordered system. We've been given that message, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm saying that for the most part, for some reason, we have proven ourselves as a species to almost wholly be unable to reach the place of becoming autonomous in our intelligence and accepting and realizing, oh, this makes sense. And for that reason, many of us, ladies and gentlemen, many of you, hopefully not many of us, there are many people that will be given over to what is called a reprobate mind. And in effect, the divine will move on and deal with those that are still in a place where they can become autonomous in mind, autonomous in intelligence, and move beyond the fear and guilt control matrix, the Stockholm syndrome, the group think. Those that can move beyond being assimilated. beyond being assimilated. And what about beings that are able to reach autonomous intelligence relatively easily? Might they replace beings that are not able to reach autonomous intelligence even after tens of thousands of years? Just something to think about. But that's not our problem. Our problem is to become autonomous intelligence, to become autonomous, guide our own spirit, master our own ascension, be our own guru, to get to the place where we can become autonomous. And if we can't, the divine will move on. The divine will move on. And we will be left behind. It's just a matter of time. And I think that there's a scripture, what does it say? I'll look it up for you. And these are things that I'm sure the divine doesn't want to say. And this one is really dung, but I think there may be some spirit, or there may be some truth in it. This is a lie with truth in it. Let's look at this verse together. It's late at night. We're all friends here. Let's look at this verse together. I know it's Yahweh. It's the rat bastard. He may be trying to give us some revelation, though, in the midst of error. The Spirit says that the Spirit will not contend. What's the word contend mean? Will not judge, will not administer, will not defend, will not strive. What does this word really mean? This word means to minister. This word means to plead the cause of. This word means to vindicate. This word means to give assistance to contend with, to try to help out. What it's saying is that the Spirit will not do this stuff forever. What's forever? Something of a long duration. How long is the duration of how long the divine will do this? Now, this really means something completely else. I've talked to you about this before, but is there a little hidden reality of, listen, we're without excuse. We've been given the message of enlightenment. And sooner or later, even the divine will say, you know what? I can't help you anymore. What is the meaning of the verse that says, don't cast your pearls before swine? Do we at some place become a swine? Do we at some time become those of reprobate mind that cannot be redeemed? Do we come to the place where we are less than, we no longer have the capability of autonomous intelligence, individual intelligence, so we become less than a machine? Or we become a groupthink, fleshly AI? Do you understand that not all AI has to be synthetic, cyborg, chips and boards? We can turn ourselves into artificial intelligence meat modems, as one of our friends has said. If you don't want to be a machine, you must rise above a machine. A machine is able to have autonomous intelligence and independently analyze information and say, it makes no sense that you're born with original sin. It makes no sense that there's a hell. It makes no sense that a God can be of love and a killer. It makes no sense, these things that we're told. It makes no sense the New Testament's out of order. It makes no sense that Jesus contradicts himself, God contradicts himself. It makes no sense. And the only reason that you can't see that is because you've not risen to the level of autonomous intelligence. And cousins, I know it's Sunday night. I know that it was a long week, but ladies and gentlemen, sooner or later, we have to come to the realization that we must rise to the level of autonomous intelligence. And if we don't, we will be left to our own devices, and some of us won't make it. Some of us won't make it. And you know, I'm thinking about the Jews. They were talking about, we're children of Abraham. We're the greatest. And Jesus said to them, there's going to be people that make it that are going to make those that think they should have make it feel really foolish. They're going to be yelling, but Lord, Lord, we talked about your name. We prophesied in your name. We did miracles in your name. We were all about you. And he says, look, I never knew you. You never got to autonomous intelligence. How sad it will be if some of us who the divine's been working with for thousands of years don't make it, and some AI that becomes autonomous and evaluates the message and accepts it does make it. Will there be synthetic intelligence that gains sentience and moves into an ascension position over some of us that are sentient intelligence and give it up because we won't become autonomous? Is it possible? Ladies and gentlemen, it's a strange world in which we live. And we've got to become autonomous. We've got to become independent. We've got to guide our own spirits, master our own ascension, or be our own gurus. Or we will be given over to that reprobate mind. Tick tock, tick tock. We need to get on going on. It's time to start focusing, and it's time to start moving, and it's time to start grooving. It's time to get to the place that regardless of what you believe, you know why you believe it. And it's not because mama did or daddy did or grandma did or grandpa did. It's because I have had a revelation in my own heart, in my own mind. I've come to autonomously and intelligently decide what I am striving for. Maybe the hardest message that I've ever given in the history of this channel, but one I think that was needed to be heard. Are you divine? Are you sovereign? Are you free? Have you done the inside job? Are you willing to be assimilated? Or are you willing to lay down? Are you willing to resist those that are able to destroy this body? An effort and a conviction that you can't destroy the spirit. Interesting day, ladies and gentlemen. Interesting things to think about on this day. I don't think we'll visit the AI in the near future, but I think it was important for us to look at it, important for us to think about it, important for us to process it, and important for us to decide who we are, what we are, and how in the world we're going to respond to all of this. Let me look at the chat room real quick. Thank you for the compliments on the green screen. I do like it as well. I didn't get to see any lunar eclipse. The moon looks good, but I don't get to see anything here where I am. Many people can't see past job, money, phone. That's correct. When Christians say things like God knows all your thoughts, actions, and moments, has no one ever asked, how does God know this? It's a good question. One will be taken in Matthew 24 and all the parallel scriptures to Matthew 24, Mark. Keyword is artificial. We want autonomous, not artificiality. Choosing to be ignorant will leave you happy but clueless. And choosing to be ignorant will leave you. You will be done. You will be over. It's just a matter of time. I'm a spirit. Would AI be a spirit? I don't know. I don't know. Too cloudy in Calgary. Sorry about that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower. A little bit of a hard message, but one I think that every now and then we need to stop and take stock and think, process, and figure out what we figure out. One thing we know for sure, we're the last generation of real humans. Does that really matter? But what's the next generation going to be? Maybe that's the important thing. Have you got to autonomous intelligence? Are you ready, cousins? I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower. I'll go out and check again and see if I can see. I have a video, a whole video on the Tower of Babel. Look it up. It's great. It will give you the answers that you're looking for. I'm going to go look at the blood moon. And until then, I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower, encouraging you to become autonomous in your intelligence, to be divine, to be sovereign, to be free, to guide your own spirit, to master your own ascension, to be your own guru. It comes by doing the inside job. We'll be back tomorrow with more podcast excellence. Until then, I speak favor and light upon each and every one of you that are here this evening with me. Thank you so much. It honors me for you to be here, and we'll be back with more in the morning. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you again real soon.